After 3 decades researching human hope and happiness, I discovered a method you can use to measure your happiness. It's based on this simple equation. This math formula, hope divided by hunger equals happiness, says that the more hopeful and less hungry you are, the happier you become. When I say hungry, I don't just mean you have a hunger for food. I'm saying you have a compelling desire or craving for. Hope, meanwhile, comes from to measure hope and hunger, and therefore happiness. With this formula, I developed a questionnaire that identifies whether you're languishing, flourishing, or functioning somewhere in between. If you're languishing, it means you're overwhelmingly hungry, unhappy, and disconnected, with feelings of emptiness, low hope, and a hollow sense of purpose. You're functioning at the lowest end of the well-being spectrum. If you're flourishing, on the other hand, it means you're happy, full of hope, and functioning well emotionally and socially. So if you can confidently make these 6 statements, you're flourishing, living a happier, more hopeful life than most people. If you can say this, it means that you habitually choose the most favorable interpretation of events and outcomes of the past, the present, and especially the future. To an optimist, the future is full of hope, whereas to the pessimist it's full of hunger, or unfulfilled desires. Optimism makes you resilient. When you haven't achieved a goal after a few attempts, you try and try again. And if you determine a goal is truly impossible to achieve, you modify it to keep hope alive. The predisposition for optimism is partly inborn and partly acquired or learned. You can learn to be more optimistic by noting and acknowledging that good things do happen, and anyone, including yourself, can make them happen. This phrase reflects a high degree of self-esteem, or a strong belief in yourself. When you have something to contribute, it means you're a consequential member of the community. You matter, and you belong. The best way to build this belief is to identify your true calling or passion, something you love to do and do very well. Knowing you're not alone in a life full of uncertainties is calming and anxiety relieving. All humans have an inborn desire for human connection. When you have someone you can count on, especially in case of an emergency, whether it's a family member, a friend, a neighbor, or a colleague, it mitigates the natural hunger for trusted companionship. You can start today to gradually widen your circle of well-wishers and foster a sense of connection. Try to make a habit of doing things that make others smile. Send someone a note just because you're thinking of them, give your neighbor a ride, compliment a friend, or let the other driver go first. You may have noticed that young children ask a lot of questions, sometimes following up one, why, with another and then another.